Welcome to today's episode. This one's a little different. It's raw, it's honest, and it's straight from where I am right now. Lately, I've been hearing a clear message, not yet. It's a message that keeps surfacing whenever I try to push forward, create, or do. And as someone who's spent years supporting others through burnout and chronic fatigue, it's been both humbling and healing to sit in this space myself. Today, I'm sharing what it's like to meet this pause, what it's been teaching me about nervous system healing, feminine energy, and the deeper invitation within burnout. You'll hear two valuable realizations that have become ever clearer to me about chronic fatigue, burnout, and the way forward. If you've been feeling stuck, tired, or like life has hit the brakes, I hope this episode gives you comfort, clarity, and a reminder there is hope. Lately, every time that I want to begin something, a new project, or something I feel I need to do, which I usually feel like I need to do now, I just come up against a block. It is such a feeling of, nope, not yet. It's like a wall drops down and all motivation is shut off. And I can't even take another step in the direction that I was planning to. And I'm a doer. I've always been a doer. I'm a person that gets things done. I am your typical type A personality. I was for the whole of my life until I burnt out in 2013. And well, I started falling apart before then. But the last 3 months have been curious. So I moved in March and I immediately became unwell, and I actually developed a really bad case of tonsillitis. It took me over 3 weeks to properly heal. My body just needed a lot of downtime. And from then onwards, my body's continued to need a lot of downtime. And now I'm someone who supports people to manage burnout and chronic fatigue. I've been there. I know what it feels like. And so here I am going, damn it. Have I burnt out? Have I crashed? What's going on here? Because I feel like I can't be that person if I am now going through the very thing that I'm trying to support my clients to not do. But I've also learned a whole lot in the last couple of years as I've gone through my own journey. And so I've been trusting the space I'm in, because I've learned that when our bodies slow us down, there's a reason, and we need to listen. And so I need to just share that the last 4 years have been insane for us, or for everyone. Goodness gracious, everyone knows what I'm talking about. So for us personally, financial scarcity has hovered constantly. It has shaped every decision we make. It has caused us to put so many limits on all sorts of things that in the past would have been easy and we wouldn't have even questioned. And it just hangs over one. I'm sure for those of you who've been there, you know what I mean. It's just constantly hanging over us and shaping every part of our lives. And I really am grateful for all the tools and the practices that I have learned through my own journey with chronic fatigue, and that these are the ones that I share with my clients, because they have kept me going. They've really supported me to stay healthy and to have the capacity to do what I need to do and to get through. But the truth of it is I've not been thriving, and I don't support my clients to just survive, because most people are barely surviving when I see them. I don't also support them to get to the place where they're living okay and they're doing okay. I support my clients to thrive, and I haven't been thriving, and I know and have been feeling for so long that there's this part of me that's unfolding that's it's getting me to that place of thriving. And in the past, to thrive, I always would have thought that I need to do more, right? If I want to be more successful, I need to do more. And now here I am, and so our circumstances have changed, so that we're in a more comfortable position. And it's like I've just landed, and my body has said, stop, no more. Now you rest. Now you rest, and you need to be in this place and stay in this place before you move on. I call this the feminine void. And it's a term I got from someone that I follow, who I find her work very, very supportive. So if any of you know or have not followed Kate Northrup and read the book Do Less, it's a lovely book. But I've also learned a lot more about feminine and masculine energy. And masculine is the pushing, doing energy. Feminine is the connected body energy. This is a lot about what I share with my clients as well. And so here I find myself in this feminine void. And I have so many creative ideas. This is also the feminine. I want to finish my book. I want to start a podcast. I want to. There's so much that wants to come through me. And then every time I sit down to do it, I get, not yet. Nope, not yet. And it's so frustrating because it scares me, right? Because we're not used to not being able to do things. We don't like it. We feel more comfortable and in control when we're busy and when we're doing. We really don't know how to be still. It's something that most of us who have the nervous systems that we do, which is why we are where we are, do not know how to be still. It feels foreign to the nervous system. It feels scary. It feels scary to our personalities, which have usually adapted around being doers and being capable and being busy and achieving and succeeding. I have learned a lot over the last 6-7 years about working and living differently and not always doing, but it's still something that I'm clearly having to work through because this has not come up for me. So here I am in this place, and I'm just trusting it. 2 months on, it's almost May now. Most of it, so March, April, and now May starts, and still when I feel like it's time to do this next thing, I just get this message of no, don't, not yet. So I wanted to share 2 messages with you today. 1, burnout. I want to reframe burnout and redefine it. Burnout is a reset. So when our bodies stop, when our bodies slow down, it is actually a call for you to go inwards and to listen to what is not working and to listen to what wants to come through you. And that's usually because you're ready for something more and something different, or because you are not in alignment with your truth in some way. So even procrastination is a call to stop and listen. This is something that's really served me in the last 4 years particularly. There were times when I'd sit down and that not yet would come up, that wall would come up. Nope, just can't do this now. No motivation. Okay, look, I've also, for the first time in the last 2 years, come to understand a lot more about myself because I've been diagnosed with ADHD. So there's partly that. But even in the ADHD, I now know there's a huge link to nervous system dysregulation. And I've been very aware of this procrastination. And when I sit and allow it, instead of resist it, it's amazing what creativity comes through and what I'm capable of on the other side. Okay, so instead of judging it, pushing, overriding it, just allowing the procrastination, tuning in, dropping in, connecting to my body, resting, then the next day, or maybe a day later, suddenly it all happens and it flows and it's so easy. And here I am now on a much greater scale doing that. This is like 2 months of procrastination. But the message I keep getting is that I need to just do the minimum, because my body right now, my nervous system needs to grow. My nervous system needs to rest. I am needing to learn. There's been so much coming in for me. Gosh, I can't tell you how much I've learned and what has come through for me in terms of new information, new knowledge, what I've shifted in my life, what I've let go of in the last 2 months. It has been incredible. But I had to be rested for that to happen. So I'm going to say it again. Chronic fatigue, burnout, fatigue, procrastination, these times of not being able to do is an opportunity and an invitation to stop, to listen, and to reset. It's difficult. It's really difficult. But if you can learn to trust that, the gifts are incredible. 2, nervous system work, nervous system capacity is absolutely fundamental to our health and well-being. If we have dysregulated nervous systems, if we have nervous systems that very quickly and easily go into fight, flight, or freeze, and not so easily come back into a rested state once we're in fight, flight, or freeze, this is dysregulation. It's a nervous system that can't modulate very well. I would say that 99% of my burnt out and exhausted clients have dysregulated nervous systems. And that is a very, very big part of why they are unwell. So when we have a dysregulated nervous system, when we are often in that fight, flight, or freeze, or fawn state, we have shut down. We are in protection. We are in contraction. So I'd like you to imagine that the nervous system acts as a container. And when we are dysregulated, when we are constantly, chronically feeling stressed, anxious, overwhelmed, that container is squeezed tight. There's not much room in it. It's contracted. As we heal that nervous system, as we allow ourselves to be able to sit with discomfort, with not knowing, with stress, and we learn to tolerate it and hold space for it without so quickly going into a fight, flight, freeze, or fawn state, that nervous system capacity grows, that container grows, and it opens a space to receive. And that is when we can receive more abundance and more healing and more vitality, more love, more connection, more. The nervous system is foundational to this. This is something that has been, it's just been so important for me over the last year and a bit, but particularly since we've moved and I'm on this beautiful, beautiful, huge plot. It's quiet. It's so quiet. It's so calm. And financially, there's been a bit of grace. And so there's an easing. And my nervous system is just, it's like it's a big sigh of release and relief. And I'm just feeling in more and more how I've just got to let that happen and let my nervous system heal more and more. Because that is going to enable all of these new projects and these new ideas of mine to come through in a very powerful way. Okay, so 1, burnout is a reset. It's an opportunity for you to stop and listen and for something old to be released and something new to come in. 2, and burnout means anything, any chronic fatigue, any time where it just feels like you can't do it anymore. 2, nervous system healing is foundational to being able to receive more of what you need, particularly vitality and health, which is why most of my clients come to me. But more of it's abundance is all of that stuff. Abundance is one big spectrum, and money is one part of that. Health and vitality is also on that spectrum. Love, connections, all on that spectrum. Okay, so a lot of people say to me, but what about being able to survive? I need to make money. Boy, do I know all about that. That's the whole thing, isn't it? It's this whole balance of I know I need to rest. I know I need to be still. I know I need to listen to my body, but I've got to do to receive. That is a masculine way of thinking, or distorted masculine. It is it is based on, unfortunately, the way that our society has framed our thinking as well, because we all need to play the game in order for our society to function as it does. Because if we're not contributing, we're not supporting profit and capitalism, what happens? But what I've been learning more and more is that as I trust life, and as I do what I can manage and do what I feel called to do and what feels right for me to do. So at the moment, like for instance, you may have noticed I don't post as often as I have been posting. I've been very quiet on Instagram. I don't feel like putting myself out there too much. It's just not feeling good for me at this point. And so I'm honoring that because that's what my body wants right now. As I've learned to do this, somehow or other, I always get through. Somehow or other, look, I'm not saying that, like I've said, there's been a lot of scarcity in the last 4 years. It's not like I've had an abundance, but I've always had enough. Always had enough. And what I've needed has come. And it's taken me a long time to trust that, but I've learned that if I'm not pushing and striving and driving, I still survive. But now I want to thrive. And that is why I'm just honoring and listening and staying and being still and resting. Because that is my next part of my journey. And there's so many aspects to this. And I'm sure some of you will be familiar with them. There's aspects of being afraid to be powerful. There's aspects of a fear of failure. There's a fear of being seen. This has all held me back for a long time. And I believe that a big part of my chronic fatigue was that it served me. It kept me small. It kept me safe. It served me in many ways. Part of it was about keeping small and safe and not being seen and not putting myself out in the world, not being a threat to anyone. These were trauma adaptations that served me when I was younger. And so a big part of my healing was to learn to let that go. And part of healing my nervous system is to support me to then step out in the world in a bigger way. So I really felt called to share this with you. I can't tell you where it's going to go. I can't tell you it's going to be all right. I don't even know that for myself most of the time. But I have learned through my journey to trust. As I worked a lot with the spiritual aspect of this journey, and please remember, when I say spiritual, when I talk about masculine and feminine, this encompasses all religions and faith. It's not exclusive of those. For me, it's trusting something greater. It doesn't necessarily have to have a name or a form, but I'm held and supported. And as I've worked with that, my nervous system is healed. It's helped me to deeply trust these moments of rest and stillness. And as I've learned to do that, more and more has let go and more has come in. And I constantly grow, constantly. And it's not always the way I think it should be, because I love to think things through. I was in my head all the time. I was very analytical. I like to control things through my thinking and analyzing. And I've had to really learn that I can't always understand it and know what's going to happen and why, but just to trust that it's going to be okay. And so I'm sharing this with you today because I want you to know where I'm at, because I think it might resonate with a lot of you. And I'm going to keep on giving you updates around what's happening in my journey, just so that you can maybe just feel like you're not alone through what you're going through. I'd really love to hear your feedback and your thoughts and any questions you might have, and you're absolutely welcome to email me with those. I'm still here. I'm still taking on clients. I'm just not going to be pushing anything. I'm not going to be trying to launch anything new or anything right now, because it just doesn't feel good for me. It just doesn't feel good for my nervous system, and I'm really having to trust that. But I'm still here, and I am holding space for all of you, and I trust that your journeys are also opportunities for rediscovering who you truly are and how to truly thrive in your life. All right, take care, everyone. Before you go, do you want to find out if your personality might be keeping you stuck in fatigue or burnout? As a psychologist and body talk practitioner, I've seen a clear link between certain psychological patterns and chronic fatigue and exhaustion. That's why I created a quick 5-minute quiz to help you discover if you resonate with what I call the holding personality, a set of traits that I've found common in many of my clients struggling with fatigue, and characteristics that keep them stuck and depleted. So head over to kerrymagnus.net, that's no www, just kerrymagnus.net, and click Start Here to take the quiz. It might just be the missing piece you're looking for.